I thought week 10 was one of the most exciting weeks of football we've seen.
Yeah.
You had game of the year, Vikings-Bills.
Yep.
You had the Lions getting a clutch-ass W
yes.
against Justin Fields, who Justin Fields dropped a 40 bomb in fantasy football.
Yes.
So hopefully you didn't drop him just because he wasn't playing very well at the start of the season. Donta Foreman rushed for like 140 yards in the Panthers-Falcons game. Buccaneers barely squeaked it out overseas. There's a lot of awesome games.
Yeah.
Dolphins shelled the Browns. Absolutely shelled. Let's talk Falcons-Panthers since we got to watch that full game.
Okay.
Me and Chase are watching every Thursday night football game with Amazon. So we're seeing a lot of this. Marcus Mariota looks horrible. His stat line doesn't look bad, but he looks horrible. Like so bad.
It was not good.
He is still in the bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league to me. And honestly, for the Panthers, PJ Walker's not very good either. I like that PJ Walker's an XFL guy, but he kind of looks like shit too. It's really that run game. Their run schemes and their offensive line are just so good.
So good.
The fact that Donta Foreman can average 4.2. Now, averaging 4.2 is already impressive, but doing it on 31 carries is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see guys average 10 yards a carry, but that's because they got 10 total handoffs, and it was like in garbage time when they could just run free for 10 plus.
Right.
Laviska Shenault played really well. I'm happy to see him doing well. I like him a lot. He got traded from poverty team to poverty team, but he's doing all right. But yeah, that was it. I mean, this was just a dominant run game. It was lit to watch. Seahawks Buccaneers. Buccaneers like almost choked this, but Tom Brady is 2-0 after the divorce. So no matter what, you're better off without your woman. Just remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Geno still played great. I'm loving Geno. He's got to be whatever. Do they have an award for that? Most improved player in the NFL?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
If they have that, he's getting it.
Gotta
I know
be.
they have comeback player of the year, but that's
maybe
like
that's
coming
what I'm
back
thinking.
from an injury. So I think Saquon might
It's
get that.
on their back. Comes on their back. Is that what you said?
If there was a come on the back award, I'd be fucking gold star every year. I'd have 10 trophies.
I was sad about this, but the Bucks did a really good job of bottling Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I
They
mean, he's
bottled him
still a
pretty well.
yak merchant
Yeah.
for fantasy
Yeah,
points,
for sure.
but he
Six-
just didn't get anything
6
going on the
receptions for
ground.
55. Yeah.
It's Rashad White season, baby.
22 for 29. Tom Brady out there throwing darts.
Mhm.
Holy shit. Rashad White, 22 for 105.
This was kind of out of the blue. I don't know why he just kind of started to get way more carries than Leonard Fournette. Maybe they just trying to decrease the workload on Leonard Fournette in the second half of the season. What is the Bucks record? I think they're
5-5.
inching closer to the playoffs. It was looking like they might not even make it, but it looks like they could make it. The
You think they
Buccaneers
will?
is a team where if they make the playoffs as a low seed, I can still see them winning the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think they'll make it?
Mm,
Depends on who they play.
rest their schedule's tough.
Yeah.
It is really tough, but I think they can make it. Lions Bears.
So sick.
So clutch, baby.
That pick 6, Aiden Hutchinson, for being a rookie, dude, his game IQ is insane. That's the second time he did it against Aaron Rodgers, actually caught it, and then he just did it against Justin Fields. He didn't catch it, but he caused the interception.
Dude, if it wasn't for Sauce Gardner, he's winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Sauce Gardner is just literally like a top 10 corner off rip, which is stupid.
Yeah.
But Aiden Hutchinson's playing amazing. He keeps it up. He could win Defensive Rookie of the Year, but won't be easy. Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to be a stud. 10 receptions, 120 yards. DeAndre Swift. They do this every fucking game. DeAndre Swift is clearly hurt, but they put him in for like 5 carries.
Yeah.
Every game. It's like, oh, you're still hurting just a little bit? Let's give you 5 carries. It's just pissing me off. For fantasy football, really. It's like, bro, just make Jamal Williams lead back. Let him go off. Whatever. DeAndre Swift got a touchdown, so he still dropped.
Doesn't really add up why you'd be playing him, honestly.
8 points. Yeah, I don't get it. Just let him rest or don't. Pick a lane.
Justin Fields just being a literal running back.
Yeah.
Like,
You
oh
guys
my
say Lamar
gosh.
B, bro. Look at this shit.
That's
He's
2
almost
weeks
got
in a
more
row.
rushing yards than passing yards. Are you kidding me? It's 2 rushing touchdowns.
It's literally 2 weeks in a row. He's just absolutely popped off rushing.
178 rushing yards last week. 147 yards this week.
Holy shit.
That's better than any running back. Literally any single running back in the whole league. Dolphins, Browns. Dolphins just shit on the Browns.
Yeah.
Straight up. Dolphins offense is so good. Tua keeps throwing for crazy numbers. Jeff Wilson had a really good game. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek had good games. Trent Sherfield is a guy who's been getting a lot of looks. They really dialed him up like some plays.
Never heard of him.
Alec Ingold is a fullback, I'm pretty sure. Man had 4 receptions, 45 yards at a time.
And a tutty. Damn. Would Deshaun Watson have changed this story? Would have been closer? Would have the Browns have won? Or are the Dolphins just that
Yeah, I think the Dolphins are really good. I think you lose this game anyway, but I think with Deshaun Watson, the Browns are not 3-6. Deshaun comes back next week. It'll be his return game against the Texans, I believe, which Roger Goodell in his fucking bag for that, dude.
good?
In his Duffy.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's like, How long are you suspended for? Oh, you play the Texans week 11? I guess we'll give you an 11-game suspension.
I remember talking about that so long ago when this all was going down.
Titans beat the Broncos. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about this game. It's so boring. If the Denver Broncos are playing, it's fucking boring. There you go. There's your synopsis of this game. Tannehill looked okay. 60% completion, but no interceptions. Vikings Bills. We got a whole clip out on this, but this was literally the game of the year, dude. So many ups and downs, so many roller coasters. Justin Jefferson played his heart out. And quite frankly, I think Josh Allen and the Bills sold this game. I think they had some serious opportunities to win it, and they didn't capitalize on them. I mean, if you've got the ball with no time left from your own end zone and you fumble it for a touchdown, not even a safety, if you had fumbled that for a safety and gotten on the ball, they probably still win the game.
Yeah.
But you fumbled it for a touchdown. Kendricks recovered it. So I don't know. I think the Bills deserved to lose this game. However, I think the Bills were still the better team. I know it sounds stupid, but I think the Bills just kind of squandered a lot of opportunities to win it. So awesome game. If I could see a rematch of that for the Super Bowl, I would not be upset. Texans Giants. Honestly, the Giants are the worst 7-2 team to me that I have, not that I have seen in a long time, but they remind me a little bit of the Steelers. That record is so inflated. They struggle with everybody. They don't have a lot of resounding victories. They kind of just squeak these games out. Daniel Jones, they are so much better than anyone thought they would be. Saquon Barkley is a fucking beast, dude. 35, 152 and a touchdown. I do love what their team is doing. Saquon Barkley for comeback player of the year, but 7-2 is just overhyped. I'm gonna stick to that. I think the Giants are an early playoffs out, either the first or second.
Are they? They're just kind of chapping themselves, doing so good this year because they're gonna have like no chance to get a good quarterback in the draft next year, right? Or can they draft
if they're
up?
Actually good and they're not overrated, then they're Super Bowl contenders, and that's what they want, baby.
I guess. I just can't see Daniel Jones winning a Super Bowl.
No, I agree. I'm with you. It's kind of why sometimes it sucks to have a shitty schedule, because you got a shitty schedule like the Giants do. You play shitty teams. You're playing well. I don't know. Hey, listen, I can't even say it till they get to the playoffs, though. They go deep in the playoffs, so good for them.
Right, yeah.
Jaguars Chiefs. This was a good game. The Jaguars pulled out some shit, dude. Onside kick. First play of the game. It was really cool, but they proceeded to do nothing with it, and Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Travis Etienne was underwhelming. He was all right. Christian Kirk had a monster game. Christian Kirk proven to be a good fantasy wide receiver pickup. I wanted him in every league, and I didn't get him in a single one. People were just nabbing him. But Mahomes, 4 touchdowns and an INT. So good. Travis Kelce, so good. Kadarius Toney. I'm excited that he's got a great quarterback, and he can really start to play because he is a beast. But, like, the Giants just don't use their wide receivers. The fact that they're paying, it's so funny that they're paying Kenny Golladay what they're paying him, because, like, they're already, like, right now they're 7-2, and you're paying $72 million to a wide receiver who literally has done nothing ever for your organization. Like, imagine unloading that and getting, like, a defensive star for the same money, or an offensive line stud for the same money, or anything, or a quarterback.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know. Danny Dimes improving, though.
Yeah.
He really is.
Hopefully Juju's all good, man. That was a nasty hit.
It was a nasty hit. I hope he's all right. Saints Steelers defensive game. These are boring games to me, too. Saints can sometimes be fun to watch, but overall, especially with Andy Dalton, there's just nothing going on. And the Steelers are horrible to watch because they're so good on defense, but so bad on offense. So this certainly isn't a game I was tuning into. I do like to see George Pickens make a crazy catch every once in a while. Underwhelming game. You know who's been very underwhelming all season? Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Oh, people really just thought Najee Harris was like the guy. And last year, he looked so much more explosive.
He was nasty.
So much more explosive than he does this year. I don't know what happened. Maybe put on some LBs. I don't know. He just doesn't look the same as he did last year. Colts Raiders. Big dub for Colts, and Jeff Saturday in his first ever stint as head coach.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor finally having the game that fantasy owners were hoping he'd start to have. He started Matt Ryan, even though the old staff was starting Sam Ehlinger. Seemed to work out. However, the caveat is it's the Raiders. What do we think about the Raiders? Are the Raiders like this fucking piss poor? What's the Raiders' record? It's horrendous.
2-7.
How are the Raiders 2-7? They're so good on paper. I feel so bad for this team, man. I don't feel bad because I have Devontae Adams in fantasy, so I don't feel that bad. But overall, I feel pretty bad, man.
Yeah, at home too. You let the Colts come and just
smack you.
Guess you only won by 5, but gosh, dude.
It was a clutch stop at the end by Gilmore. Dude, the Raiders had the ball, 4th down, not a lot of time on the clock. He threw one up to Devontae Adams, and Gilmore just locked it up. Cardinals Rams. This game stunk stunk because neither team had their starting quarterback, but Colt McCoy proved to be better than a Wolford. Kid, do you smell the 3-5 record or 3-6 record on the Los Angeles Rams? That's your Super Bowl champs right there.
I can't believe that.
That's your Super Bowl champs. Teams in the past have gone back-to-back Super Bowls. Like, it's happened.
Yeah.
It's not super common, but it's happened. Rams certainly ain't doing it. Rams aren't going to make the playoffs.
No,
there's no way they make the playoffs.
And Cooper Kupp's hurt. He's getting like surgery on his ankle or something, his foot.
High ankle sprain.
So that's, yeah.
You know what they should do?
chance.
They should just throw the ball to Cam Akers every single play to make fantasy managers happy, because there's pretty much nothing you can do to turn this team around at this point.
No. Yeah, might as well.
Just literally every play call is John Wolford, halfback slip screen to Cam Akers.
I wouldn't be mad because I have Cam Akers.
35 receptions, maybe 40 yards. Drop a 35 banger.
Milking the points. Slip screen, screw it.
I got you, McVay. Don't worry about it, bro. Packers squeak it out versus the Cowboys. This is a shocker to me. Totally thought the Cowboys would get it. Dak is underwhelming. I'm just going to say it. I love Tony Pollard. I get it that Zeke's hurt and he's going to come back and they're going to feed Zeke again. Why? Tony Pollard has proved to be a stud. Start the guy.
Yeah.
Now, this has nothing to do with the fact that he is my flex running back in fantasy. It has nothing to do with it. Just start the guy. Either way, I really do like Pollard.
I've been saying it since the start. Dak's overrated as shit.
He is.
He's pick merchant.
He actually is. CeeDee Lamb had an awesome game. I was happy to see that because he hasn't really had the opportunities to have the monster games that he's had in years past. But happy to see. I mean, 11, 150, 2 touchdowns. Still take the elbow. You got to be so happy for Christian Watson going off for the Packers. Everybody remembers first game of the season. He drops the wide open one. That is an ego killer for a young guy. He comes out here, has 3 touchdowns on 4 receptions and 107 yards. So he's making up for it. They got a huge win against a really good team.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones played great too. So I was really happy.
Rodgers was pumped too. Rodgers was pumped on that win, which I was happy to see. Usually he just has no emotion.
You're looking at Rodgers like, how many drugs you on?
Yeah, dude.
You don't give a fuck.
Can they make the playoffs?
No.
No?
Well,
they literally win out.
Yes, they can. They don't even have to win out. They could get a wild card. They're 4-6, so they got 7 games left. They could get a wild card with 6 wins and a loss. It is literally possible. It is very unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could be a wild card at 9-7. It would just have to depend. The problem is the leader of each division is guaranteed a playoff slot. NFC North has Minnesota Vikings who have 1 loss. So if it was like last year's, you remember last year's NFC East, how it was horrible? The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Commanders.
Yeah.
And the Eagles got a playoff slot last year at like 6-11. They were horrible, and they got washed by the Buccaneers.
Yeah, so the Packers are even worse odds because the Vikings.
The Packers don't really have a shot. But, for example, somebody out of the Titans, the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Texans is guaranteed a playoff slot. Now, right now, it's pretty obviously going to be the Titans, but I don't think the Titans are very good. They're just going to get the freebie. Chargers, Niners. Niners pick up a dub against the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is crazy overrated. I like Justin Herbert a lot, but he is in the same category as Dak. As people talk about them like they're like these top 5 god quarterbacks, and they struggle all the time. Like Josh Allen rarely struggles. Patrick Mahomes rarely struggles. Those are god tier quarterbacks, okay? Don't be putting Justin Herbert in that category. He is good though. I like him a lot. Either way, Niners get the dub. They're a great team. So this is a tough matchup. Dude, it does have me thinking though, the NFC West is technically anybody's division right now. NFC West is the Seahawks, the 49ers, the Cardinals, and the Rams. One of them is guaranteed a playoff slot. The Seahawks lead it right now. Geno Smith has the best record, 6-4. The Niners have had their bye already, so they're 5-4, so they're technically tied. The Cardinals are 1 game behind, 4-6. And the Rams, who are supposed to be really good, but probably won't make it, are 3-6. So right now, there's only a 1-game differential between Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals. Somebody's going to the playoffs.
Dang, that's going to be
I don't think it's the Seahawks. I think it's going to be the Niners. But technically both could go.
Yeah.
Technically both
Holy
could go
shit.
because the Seahawks could go and the Niners could get the wild card, something like that. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, we got a whole thing on Commies Eagles. Crazy game, questionable call, very questionable on Heineke there. But the Eagles just didn't play good. The Commanders played better. They dominated the run game. They dominated the time of possession. They were just a better team. So you can say whatever you want about the flag at the end, but the Commanders played better. The Eagles made a lot of mistakes, and that's just the NFL football. It literally does not matter how good your team is and how bad another team is. You could lose on any given game, you know?
Very true.
This isn't Bama versus a D2 football team.
Yeah.
Like, Bama will beat that team by 110-0 every single time. Not in the NFL. A lot of people would say the Commies suck ass and the Eagles are gods, but...
It's like Bills versus Jets.
Yeah, but the Jets are good. They're usually not, but they're good right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the AFC East, what a stacked fucking division. Dolphins are 7-3. Jets are 6-3. Bills are 6-3. Patriots are 5-4. Every team is over 500.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's our Week 10 overview. Crazy games.